You write in Shame about a trip that you took to Africa at the age of 23. Let me quote Shame. This entire trip was organized around visits to cities like Algiers, cities associated with independence movements and revolutions that had swept the third world in the 1950s and 60s. I wanted to see if there was some counterpoint to the American way of life that was better.
Yeah.
And what did you see?
Well, I didn't find that. But I think, you know, I was coming of age. I was a college student. I was just out of college. I was working in war and poverty programs. And there was a point, because after the civil rights victories in the sort of late 60s, where black people began to create this identity that we called blackness. It was angry, and it was resentful, and it was separatist. And there was the illusion in it somehow that we would get farther as a separate, unified people than we would by joining America and becoming regular citizens. I confess, I was caught up in that. I wanted to see, and it was, what was so seductive about it is that it said, blackness is the answer to all of your anxieties about life, what you should do, where you should I go to graduate school? Well, if you're just really focused on blackness, those issues kind of go away. At least that was the illusion. I was seduced by that. And so, yes, my wife and I took a trip to Africa, beginning in Algeria, where we met with the Black Panthers who were in exile there, and then we traveled south of the Sahara and to Ghana, where Nkrumah had been the president, to Senegal, where Leopold Senghor, these great sort of romantic...
Anti-colonialist figures.
Anti-colonialist, sort of revolutionary figures, you know, dramatic to their countries. And it was a good lesson, learned very quick. Those countries were not doing well. They were disorganized. They were overwhelmed with corruption. There was no sort of common direction. They were lost. And they couldn't go back to being a colony again, and yet they also did not know how to go into the future and build a new nation. So I learned a lot there. It transformed me. It made me realize that your racial identity is a passive thing. Your racial identity is not an agent of change. It is not going to build a new life for you. It is not going to do all the things that life calls upon you to do for yourself. In fact, it's a delusion in which you can waste an awful lot of time.